On this episode of Coastal Cooking Presents Quick Bites, Primal Nosh is going to show us how to make steak with Pappas Bravas. Stick around and find out how it's done.
Welcome to Coastal Cooking Quick Bites, brought to you by Pensacola Energy.
Hi, I'm John Scanlon, and this is Coastal Cooking Presents Quick Bites. I'm here with chefs Diane Hotkey and L.A. Updike from Primal Nosh, and they got a great dish for us today. What are you guys making?
We are making steak with Pappas Bravas. It's a Spanish-inspired dish, the Pappas Bravas are, and we're pairing it with steak and zucchini for a full meal.
Excellent. So what do we start first?
Well, there's a lot of components to this dish. We're going to grill steak. We're making two sauces for the potatoes, Garlic Aioli and a Salsa Brava. And then we're going to make some zucchini, and we've already got some potatoes chopped up and in the oven so that you don't have to watch potatoes bake for 45 minutes. So really quick on that, get yourself, I like gold potatoes, one per person, dice it up, put it in the oven, cook them till they're golden. I'm gonna turn it over to LA, and she's gonna talk about a harissa that's going to go into the Salsa Brava.
The harissa is a condiment that we make. The harissa, you can make a lot of it ahead of time, freeze it and pull it out when you need it. When I make harissa, I make a nice batch. But when we do a harissa, we're going to be using the following ingredients. We'll be using coriander, fennel, caraway, salt and pepper, some kind of pepper, onions, and garlic. I like a red pepper, some tomato paste, and some onion. So we're going to start off with spices. I like to use spices in its whole form, like this caraway and this coriander. To get the most out of your spice being whole, you're going to have to roast them. For this harissa, we are going to use measuring spoons. Okay, now for harissa, there's several recipes online, but this one's my favorite. I'm going to take a tablespoon of coriander, a tablespoon of fennel, a tablespoon of caraway. Did I say caraway? Mm-mm. 2 tablespoons of cumin. And we're going to roast it on low. You could do this in the oven, but I prefer to do it on a stove because then you can see it. You want to see what you're doing. And you want to wait just a second. And it's going to get hot, and as soon as it starts to smell, you want to pull it off because it's toasted. And that releases all those oils in the spices, and it brings out that flavor. I mean, we could use it the way it is now, but we want to use the spice at its maximum potential.
So while that's going, you want me to start on the peppers?
Yes. Usually, we use cashmere peppers. The cashmere peppers are authentic, but they're a little hot, so we're trying to tone it down a little bit. And Diane, do you mind de-seeding peppers? What we're going to do is just, while we're waiting for that.
How many do you want?
Like half the bag.
Half the bag?
Yeah. We're going to rip off the top. Kind of shake it. Here we go. Tear it open.
Just like all the harissa.
Yeah.
You can already start smelling the spices.
It smells great, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
Now it's coming through. Let's turn it off. I'm going to put it in a coffee grinder.
Now, do you want to pull all the seeds, or can you leave some?
You can leave some.
More seeds, more spice?
More seeds, more spice. And this is kind of a mild pepper. And you see this is a lot of spice that I'm putting in here. The way we're going to use this harissa is we're going to take this harissa and put it in a homemade ketchup, so to make our sauce for the potatoes. Let me grind this up.
Oh, nifty.
And there's our spices.
Smells like Christmas, kind of.
Does it?
Yeah, it does.
We're going to add that. We're going to open up this entire jar, put it in here, of roasted red bell peppers. We're gonna throw in these peppers. We'll put it on low. Get it going. We're gonna kind of rehydrate these peppers with these peppers.
Now this is making a ketchup, you said.
Actually, I'm making the harissa. She'll be making the ketchup.
Oh, okay.
The harissa, so far in this pot, we've got roasted red bell peppers. These peppers from a bag that are deseeded. The more you use, the spicier it is. I like to kind of tear it up a little. What we're doing here is just slightly rehydrating it. It seems like a lot, but it really is a pepper that gives it its flavor. And it's just a condiment. Just like ketchup is a condiment. When you put two condiments together, you get a sauce. We're gonna throw these onions in here, because we can. Some of these peppers, just for some extra spice. Do you mind chopping this garlic up for me? Oh, yeah. You're awesome. We have this on low, and it is going low. We're gonna add some tomato paste.
We're gonna blend all this, right?
Yes, we're gonna blend all of it.
The garlic doesn't need to be heavily chopped.
Well, all we're doing right here, right now, is just rehydrating these peppers.
Ready for the garlic?
Yes, ma'am. And this is gonna take 15 minutes just to get these peppers pliable. Put a little bit of tomato paste. The tomato paste is it's kind of the base for it. The peppers and the tomato paste. Okay. I like lemon juice and a little bit of lemon zest. You just need a little bit of lemon zest. You don't want the white pith, you just want the peel. And how I like layering my food. We're just gonna give it to you. Just crush it, slice it, squeeze it.
I love that little juicer. I picked it up at Publix for like $3.
It's our fave.
Yeah, actually, I want a bigger one, a little bigger one. I have a, but yeah, it's easy. It collects the.
It gets all the seeds. One little seed in here will ruin the whole dish. So you want to make sure before you add any kind of citrus juice that there are no seeds in it. If you have to pass it through a strainer, then pass it through a strainer. But it's beautiful. And we're just gonna let that come together. Oh, spices. That's a lot of spice, isn't it? This is a concentrated harissa on purpose.
So if someone's making this at home in the concentrated version and they freeze it, what do they do when they what do they do with the little bit that they break off? If they wanted to make a non-concentrated harissa,
you can add water to it, or you could add oil to it. I like to add a little bit of olive oil to mine and maybe rub it on some chicken and then bake it, and it's beautiful. It has that beautiful red color. It's okay to add a little bit of water. It won't hurt it. If it's too much water, you can always reduce it. Excuse me. And it seems like a lot of stuff, and it is, because it is a lot of flavor that's going to be concentrated. And it's a hot mess. While this is going, I have the cast iron skillet heating up again for the steak. We've got a little bit of oil, salt, and pepper on the plate. Let's go ahead and roll it in this olive oil. And we're going to actually put marks on it. Lay it down. You should hear it. If it doesn't sizzle, your pan is cold. You never want to start a steak on a cold pan, because if you do, you're not going to have that beautiful, golden brown delicious color. We're going to just sear it, turn it, sear it, and put it and finish it in the oven. While this is all three of these are cooking, you want to start with the ketchup?
Yep.
Okay.
All right, so we're gonna make a really basic ketchup today, just for the harissa. We need tomato paste, some honey or maple syrup. If you're following a Whole30 diet or you're not eating honey or maple syrup, you can also sweeten it with dates, water, and I've got onion, cinnamon, nutmeg, and clove. We'll add some salt and pepper too. I'm just gonna mix it up in here.
Now, do you make your own ketchup at Primal?
We do. I think the only thing we don't make is mustard.
Okay.
So we make all of our own sauces in-house, everything really from scratch. Actually, LA and one other person spend 2 entire days every week just making our sauces.
Really?
We often make anywhere from 6 to 8 sauces a week. All right, after that is mixed up,
we make our own sauces, that way we can ensure that everything's clean. That is our prime goal, is to make sure everything comes out clean for your dietary needs. So it takes a little bit of time, but it's so worth it in the end.
So good.
And homemade ketchup is a wonderful condiment to have in your fridge. And not only is it healthier for you, but it's like a mother sauce. There's a million different things you can do with ketchup. Like
feed it to your toddler who only eats ketchup.
or make a barbecue sauce, a pan barbecue sauce.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, French fries are just ketchup spoons for kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, but for adults, they could be a quick sauce. And a homemade ketchup could be a really quick sauce, just by adding whatever you want to it, by squishing it.
All right, taste. I think vinegar is tasty. So what I forgot to mention was the apple cider vinegar. You just want a little splash. Make sure it's blended really well. And my ketchup, really, I always season it pretty much to taste. I have a few different ways I'll make it.
It really depends on the dish that it's going with. Sometimes we just season it with cayenne. Sometimes we'll season it with allspice, depending on what we're matching it with.
So we'll add it to the stove over medium heat. You can skip this step, but it helps to bring everything together. If I'm feeling really lazy, I have this favorite spice of mine from the butcher shop, New England garlic pepper. I know, Ellie laughs because I put it in everything.
It is our favorite. We put it in everything.
And all I do is take tomato paste water, half a tablespoon of that and some honey, and mix it together, and I'll tell you what, it turns out. So I'm just gonna let that pretty much come to a light simmer. And ketchup's done.
That's incredibly simple. I didn't know it was that easy.
Oh, it's so easy. And you can taste it, so if you like a more acidic ketchup, add more apple cider vinegar or more salt and leave out some of the honey. If you want it to be sweeter, you can add a little more honey.
That steak is looking incredible as well.
Smells incredible. The way we cook our food over at Primal, we do a lot of baking.
We don't fry anything.
We don't fry anything, not really. But we're going to put it in the oven, and it's on 375. And we're going to set this timer to hit 155, because we kind of want it medium. So let's turn you on.
Yeah, this thing is amazing to cook meat to temperature.
This will change your life. Everybody needs one of these.
Yeah. You just stick the probe in and it'll beep at you whenever your meat's done. So you don't have to check on it. You don't have to worry about it overcooking or undercooking.
And I'm going to go ahead and stick it in the very center, in the thickest part of the steak. I've set it for 150, it's at 80 degrees, and we're just going to put it in this hot oven and close the door and let it do its thing.
Mix these together since they're going to be mixed together anyway.
There we go.
All right, so we've got our harissa on the stove, our ketchup is done, our steak and our potatoes is in the oven. The last few things that we need for this are our aioli and our zucchini. So actually I'm gonna chop the zucchini really quick. And I'd like to do a thick chop on this, and we're just gonna stick it in a pan and saute it with some olive oil and a little bit of salt and pepper. Actually, so nice and easy. Zucchini in the pan. A light olive oil drizzle will be plenty, or a heavy olive oil drizzle, however you like it. A little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper. We're just gonna let these hang out over medium heat. There we go. All right, for your aioli, very basic. If you didn't see how to make your own mayonnaise at home, you can go back and check out the Branca's Street Tacos episode. So I have half a cup of mayonnaise that we made previously. I'm gonna use 3 garlic cloves. You can use more if you want. Drop those in there. About half a lemon. Again, you can add more to taste. I really prefer more acidic food, so I'm gonna taste it and I may add more lemon. I like my acids. Dump that in there. A little bit of salt and a whirl with the immersion blender. Now I didn't do anything to my garlic, so you want to make sure you want to blend it up very well so you don't get any chunks. Taste. And adjust as needed. I'm going to add a little more lemon because I really like lemon. We could probably add a little more garlic to it, but it's personal preference, really. So this is going to get drizzled over your potatoes. It's even really great on the steak with the Salsa Brava. And that's it.
That immersion blender seems to be an incredibly nifty tool.
Oh yeah, it's my favorite. I love that thing.
Well, this harissa is almost there. If you can see, there's no liquid left. It's all pretty much pasty. That heat and the water from those red bell pepper jar has rehydrated these Mexican peppers, and we're gonna blend them with the immersion blender. Ready?
So we don't scratch up the pot, we're gonna transfer it into this glass jar to blend.
You can see how thick that is. It's almost like mud. That's the consistency we're looking for. We're gonna add a little bit of this bodacious olive oil. We're using cilantro and roasted onion, because those are flavors that are found in harissa. Okay?
All right.
That's a lot of harissa. Yeah. I'm scared. Go ahead. A little bit of oil. Okay, let's taste it.
Good?
That's good.
All right. So now for the Salsa Brava. Okay, so our harissa's done. We're going to mix up our Salsa Brava really quick. I'm going to do about equal parts of harissa and ketchup. And then the final component for your Salsa Brava is going to be some canned diced tomatoes. Now, if you are feeling really lazy and you don't want to go to all of this trouble, you can also buy your favorite salsa and your favorite hot sauce and mix them together and blend that. Although LA yells at me whenever I do that trick.
She's taking my job from me.
If you order from Primal, you won't get that version.
No.
But if you're thinking, this is too much for me to do at home, that's okay. You can do salsa and hot sauce.
But it's totally worth it.
It is worth it. All right. Taste test again. I'm good to go. Let me grab a... And...
Well, it's pretty tasty.
Huh?
Pretty tasty.
All right. So,
Awesome.
we'll plate.
Let's plate.
We have steak.
You want to do vegetables first?
Whatever.
Let's do vegetables. What do you do? Steak.
All right. And all of the sauces are actually for the potatoes. This is traditionally a tapas dish in Spain, but as I said at the beginning, we wanted to make it a full meal, so now what you do is take some of your salsa brava, drizzle it over your potatoes.
And you can roll it in a bowl with the sauce, but
And drizzle your aioli. And then if you have something green, you can top it with that, either chives or parsley.
and there it is.
All right, if you have something green, you can top it just to finish.
Yeah, a little fresh element.
Add some color.
That looks awesome.
Beautiful.
Now, do you guys have this on the menu at Primal Nosh?
We have done this before.
Okay, excellent. So, if they don't want to do all this in the kitchen, they can actually go see it at 3810 Barrancas Avenue.
Yes, it is. If it's only on the menu occasionally, we change our menu often, and we try to only put the same dish on the menu once every 2 months or so.
Okay.
But yep, it'll be back. So.
Check on the website, primalnosh.com. They also do delivery, so make sure to check them out.
This has been Coastal Cooking Quick Bites, brought to you by Pensacola Energy.